Chargers dominated the Rams last night. A lot of players proved their worth and earned themselves a spot in the NFL. So let's go over all of the good and the bad from that first game. Make sure to bolt up, like the video, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. And also, if you're a Rams fan and you're here, let me know who impressed you on the Chargers that you didn't even know before heading into this game. I'd be interested to hear that. All right, so let's start on defense with the good. Chris Rumph had an elite PFF grade at 93.2, and he had 1 sack, 1 QB hit, and a run stop on only 11 plays. He looked so good. He was so fast and physical, using his hands really well, and those Rams offensive linemen were struggling to deal with him. Also, Carlo Kemp, he looked pretty good. 87.4 PFF grade for him. He had 5 pressures. Shelby was getting some action. He was getting in there with 2 pressures. And Andrew Farmer, the Lane College legend, undrafted free agent, he looked fast and he showed some flashes out there. Bro, his sack made me bolt up. Pause. CJ Okoye got his first sack in his very first football game ever. Not just an NFL game, but his very first football game. He got a sack. Tuipulotu had 2 pressures in only 11 plays. Daiyan Henley looked great in coverage. He had a pass breakup and had an 80.4 coverage grade. And for a linebacker, that's a really impressive grade. He was the second best coverage defender on this team, only behind Cam Brown, the undrafted free agent out of Ohio State. Cam Brown had 89.9 coverage grade. That's almost an elite grade. That is 0.1 off of being an elite coverage grade. He allowed 3 catches for 19 yards on 6 targets while breaking up 2 passes. Some other guys on defense that I want to shout out really quickly. Michael Jacquet, coming from that safety position, just flying downfield in run support. Deane Leonard was targeted 4 times, only allowed 1 catch. He dropped a pick 6, but we'll talk about that soon. And Blake Lynch getting a sack on a nice stunt move up the A-gap. Shout out to him. Now with the bad stuff on defense. Tiawan Mullen, the undrafted free agent, he was getting bullied all night in the slot. 6 targets, and he allowed 5 catches for 70 yards. Uzodinma, though, was probably the worst last night on defense. He allowed 6 catches for 78 yards. Also add 2 penalties on top of that because he was just playing too physical all night. He needs to not be so grabby with these wide receivers, and he was just running downfield with them, grabbing them, tugging them. It was just giving him problems all night. JT Woods had a stupid penalty that extended the Rams' drive, ended up getting them a touchdown. I mean, it was a ticky-tacky call, but, just don't give the refs anything to throw a flag at, Also, the fact that Alohi Gilman was resting tonight just kind of shows me how they see JT Woods and Alohi Gilman. That, to me, says that Alohi Gilman has that safety spot secured, and it's not a competition. JT Woods is behind Alohi Gilman. Deane Leonard and Jasir Taylor both dropped pick 6s, man. Oh, we would have blown them out so much if we got those 2 pick 6s. Even just 1 pick 6 would have made this a huge blowout. Other than those dropped interceptions, though, I thought that they both played pretty well. Now on offense, and this is where everything was so good. Easton Stick was balling all night. I mean, where did that come from? I guess the Kellen Moore effect is already paying off for us, but I also want to acknowledge all of the hard work Easton must have put in and done for himself to improve as much as he did. He was just so much more decisive, confident. He trusted his abilities and his decision making more than I've ever seen him do, even in college. I made a joke on Twitter that he looked like an early career Baker Mayfield, which, I mean, he kind of did, so I'm not really joking. But Max Duggan also is confirmed to still be a dog because of that long run he had after being hit all night. The offensive line looked really good in the first half. Zion Johnson and Zack Bailey specifically looked really good. Will Clapp had a few good blocks in the run game as well. Zack Bailey, though, this is really interesting to me. He had an 85.9 PFF grade, so he was the best offensive lineman last night against the Rams. The second best, Zion Johnson, his grade 75.2. So Zack Bailey, far and away the best offensive lineman from last night, according to PFF. I'm going to have to go back and watch the All-22 in order to confirm that, but that's That's what it says. Also, Austin Pleasance did a good job compared to the other backup tackles like Foster Sarell and Andrew Trainer and Jordan McFadden. These running backs looked amazing, man. Every single one of them. Well, except one of them. But Elijah Dotson, man, 7 plays. He only had 7 snaps in this entire game. 6 runs and 2 touchdowns, 92 yards. He bounced both of those touchdowns off of that left side. He's got such great vision, man, great burst and shiftiness, and those eyes, that is rare for a rookie running back. And I remember I made a video way before when they had when they signed all of those undrafted free agents, and I said that he reminded me of James White. Right now, what I just saw, he kind of looked like Brandon Oliver, the former Charger. How many of you guys remember him? And I mean him before that Achilles injury, because those are 2 different running backs. It's going to be really interesting to see how Elijah Dotson builds off of this, because Tyler Hoosman didn't see any playing time in this game. And I'm assuming that against the Saints, he's going to get on the field. But Elijah Dotson, man, making his presence felt early and probably just won himself a roster spot on the Chargers. If not on the Chargers, then definitely on some other NFL team. I am still excited to see what Tyler Hoosman does against the Saints, which I'm hoping he plays against the Saints. If he doesn't, then I don't know what is going on. Joshua Kelley and Isaiah Spiller, they both looked spunky. I would put Spiller over Kelley, though, because of that receiving ability that we saw in this game. Joshua Kelley, he had 1 target, and he could not locate the ball. He was, running this way, didn't even look back. The ball just goes over his head like that. Easton Stick threw it about 5 yards over him, so I don't know if he ran a poor route or if he was just totally unaware that ball was coming towards him. I don't know what that was, but Isaiah Spiller, he caught both of his targets, and he also looked more elusive on the field. Isaiah Spiller had that huge 70-yard touchdown run. Also, that was called back because of a holding on Jordan McFadden. And this offense had over 200 yards rushing with that 70-yard touchdown called back. But that will transition us into the bad of this offense, which wasn't a lot, but Jordan McFadden and Jamaree Salyer struggled as they were graded as the worst players on offense, and it wasn't very close. I couldn't tell that Jamaree Salyer played that poorly, but again, I'm going to have to go back and watch the tape, watch the all 22 film to see exactly why he graded so bad. I couldn't see it, watching the game, that he didn't play well, but that's what PFF says. Larry Roundtree also had a really bad missed block on the last play of the 3rd quarter that led to a Max Duggan sack. And he didn't really look great all night outside of this one flat route where he caught the ball, made a man miss, and started running down the field on like a 3rd and 15, something like that. Only gained about 6 yards on that one, though. Quentin Johnston, he had 1 drop on only 6 targets, but he also ran a really great route in the red zone. Just a little, I'm going this way, bam, back up the seam, touchdown. He made that guy look goofy, put him in a blender. That Rams defender could not keep up with him. So it's a give and take with Quentin Johnston. Also, these backup offensive tackles, man, so inconsistent all night. Foster Sarell played good on one play, and then the next play, it was like he's giving up a pressure. It shows how important that Rashawn Slater and Trey Pipkins are to the success of this team, because I do not want to see Justin Herbert with Foster Sarell protecting his blind side, and then on the right side, you got Austin Pleasance. No, we need Trey Pipkins and we need Rashawn Slater, or else Justin Herbert is going to get hurt, and I don't want to see that. Now let's talk about special teams, which everyone loves special teams, but Derius Davis, man, freaking 81-yard punt return touchdown. I'm not even exaggerating when I say this. I think that may have been the best punt return touchdown that I've seen the Chargers have ever in my life. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I don't recall Darren Sproles ever having a punt return touchdown like that, but also I was very young. Anyways, the suddenness of his movements, man, that really shined on that touchdown, and he made the Rams special team unit just look like they didn't know what they were doing at all. He didn't even look that fast, but he was outrunning everybody on the field. I don't know what it is, but like his running motion is like his arms moved slower so it made him look like he wasn't as fast as he was. I don't know what it is, but he was freaking fast on the field. Don't let that running motion fool you. He's got speed. But also, he was a threat on every punt and kick return, man. On a punt earlier in the game, he was only one missed tackle away from breaking that thing loose and getting a touchdown on that punt too. J.K. Scott, the punter, Cameron Dicker, the kicker, both had good games as well. Nothing bad with them. J.K. Scott, his longest punt, 55 yards. And then Cameron Dicker, he hit all of his kicks. Okay, 4 PATs, 2 field goals. One of them was from 50 yards out. I think it was like 51 maybe. Maybe it was exactly 50. I don't remember. But it looked kind of scary, like he wasn't going to hit it. And it went through. Ryan Ficken, the special teams coach, must have really worked wonders with these guys so quickly. I mean, the fact that we have Derius Davis now obviously helps him, but you need to have a coach that's going to push for players like that. You got to push to draft guys like that. We knew that Derius Davis, his impact this year would be primarily on special teams, and we're already seeing it, man. We are already seeing it. Also, Derius Davis on offense, he didn't play poorly at all. I know I didn't mention him in that section, but he had a catch in traffic where he just got lit up, smacked. He was playing well from the slot, man. Derius Davis, I really was impressed with him. So those are the guys that impressed me and that I wanted to see a little more of from that Rams and Chargers game. Derius Davis, man. Once we get that all 22 footage, I'm going to show you exactly why these guys impressed me and why some of them didn't impress me. But if you haven't seen this video, I would suggest clicking on it. This was a good video. Thanks for watching.